Welcome back to the Tracy Take. I'm Tyler here with my brother Ryan, and today we are breaking down the New York Giants 2024 NFL Draft. We thought they did a phenomenal job. It's going to be fun breaking down all of their selections. But before we do that, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and also tackle the bell to get notified when new Giants videos come out. Trying to get to 4,000 subscribers by the start of the 2024 NFL season, so any help is greatly appreciated. So Ryan, let's pull up the slides here. When you're picking sixth overall and Malik Nabers falls to you, I would say that is a pretty good draft already to fall. And so, honestly, I think he was still going to be on the board. Thought the Chargers might have gotten him, but they ended up going with Joe Alt, which I also completely understand as well. So, sitting here with Malik Nabers, you get your number one pass weapon as well. Ryan, what are your overall thoughts on this fit for the
Yeah, I
Giants?
mean, he can kind of play anywhere. The LSU moved him around all the time. I think the Giants and Brian Dabble are going to move him around a lot. So 6 foot, 200 pounds, extremely quick, good hands, runs good routes. I mean, there are a few guys that affect the game with as much with their speed as much as he does, right? Like Tyreek Hill is one, and like I think DK Metcalf might be another, and that also is kind of a size and speed
Like
type deal.
Jefferson, yeah, dude,
Yeah,
yeah.
and so it's really impressive to watch him play. The Giants finally have a true number one wide receiver, and I think this actually sets them up really well with Darius Slayton, Jalen Hyatt, right? To those guys to have more favorable matchups as well. So. They did not go with a quarterback at all in this draft. So Daniel Jones is going to be the starter in 2024 or 2024. And unless Drew Lock comes in and wins the starting job, which actually I guess is not out of the realm of
It's
possibility.
not out of the realm of possibility. Not
Yeah,
out of the realm.
but no, I really like this pick for the Giants. I think they're doing they did a pretty good job this draft with limited draft capital.
Yep. No, I like that. And so one of the things too that I really liked about this draft, they used their 39th pick to go get Brian Burns, and so really addressing
Yeah,
that defensive line even more, just getting a great player. So they did still have a second round pick as well. Moving on then to their 47th pick, Tyler Nubin, safety out of Minnesota. I like this selection a lot. He was a guy that we thought was fringe first round capabilities
hmm
if the board fell a certain way or a team really fell in love with him. But I like that they address this position here overall, just keep improving that secondary because honestly, that front seven for the Giants is really good. You know, it's not,
yeah,
now even you add Brian Burns in the mix. But here, getting the secondary as well, they also lost Xavier McKinney in the offseason. And so they know they added some guys as well, but still get a young safety like Tyler Dubin. I think it's going to be great for the defense.
yeah. And he didn't test out the greatest at the combine. I think he was like about average for NFL safeties, but his instincts and watching him on tape are something special. So that I really like this pick. Get him on the back end of this defense. Allow those guys up front to go be aggressive and help prevent those big plays. I think is going to be his specialty here. And
Yeah.
so so far added two really good athletes. Up next with the third pick, they're adding another really good athlete with Andrew Phillips, the cornerback out of Kentucky. He is a little bit more of a project than the first two picks because he is just an immense athlete, and he plays the cornerback position, but he's an athlete at the cornerback position. He needs some refinement in his technique and hand placement and different coverages. But if you can get him to do those things well, man, I think this is going to be a phenomenal pick for them.
Yeah, it wants to just keep improving that secondary because that front seven seems like it's pretty much stout as well. So just keep getting younger and younger in the secondary position. So coming from the SEC, a lot of good film, but as your point though, still some development. I think it was a good pick here overall with their previous selection. So only 6 picks overall for the Giants. Let's move on to their day 3 picks here. Going with Theo Johnson, tight end, Tyrone Tracy Jr. from Purdue, the running back, and then wrapping up with Darius Musao, at linebacker in the 6th round. So I think getting a couple of good skill position players as well. It just gives some more options really to this offense to help out Daniel
Mhm.
Jones in any way, and also to just Brian Dable as well to see how creative he can be. I think Tyrone Tracy is going to be unique as well. He's going to have an opportunity, I think, to really come in and compete for some serious snaps. Did
Yeah.
obviously move on from Saquon Barkley this offseason. Did pick up Devin Singletary, but that's obviously not the long term future. I think he can come in and provide some serious minutes here, as he had a great college career, especially then too at Purdue.
Yeah, and I think one of the things you're going to find in common with all these draft picks is they're all going to have, I think, pretty high relative athletic scores. Theo Johnson, I believe, ran in the 4.5s at the combine, and while that speed doesn't necessarily show up on tape, I think you look at just he's 6'5", 260, ran that speed, and then like hopefully you can develop that, especially on day 4. Those are good traits. And then Tyron Tracy is a converted wide receiver, 6 foot, 215 pounds. Now he's a running back. I think he really could compete for a significant amount of snaps this season. And so, especially like third down snaps, I would love for him to get in there and be an outlet for Daniel Jones. So that for me, I think they did a really good job in that aspect of just adding good athletes to their football team. And Tyler and I, we did grade all of these drafts that we're going to be reviewing here. So let's get into our grade for the Giants. You gave them an A-. I gave them a B. I gave them a B. I kind of forgot to incorporate the fact that they traded 39 for Brian Burns. But I was like, they only have 6 picks. I feel like they took a lot of the players that like they should have where they did. And like to me, that just felt like a normal good draft, which in my grades is kind of where all the B drafts were. Like they were just an average good draft. Like,
yeah. I would say they've addressed the offensive line a bunch, and so I understand why they wouldn't go after that. So I think the offensive line, well, it can really only go up from here for how it was last year. But you get Malik Nabers, then you go get Brian Burns essentially with that 39th pick. I really like the Tyler Nubin selection as well. He's going to come in and probably be one of the starting safety for them. I think Andrew Phillips has some good projection as well. I just liked the overall moves in the philosophy of the Giants team, kind of with the limited draft capital that they had. And so to me, maybe A-, maybe a little high. Maybe I could bump down to B+, but still, it's I think one of the better drafts, all things considered, with where they were picking and the amount of draft capital that they had.
Yeah. So, but again, I think they added some good players to their roster. I am looking forward to watching the Giants this season. I think the NFC East is going to be ultra competitive. So, let's go ahead and wrap it up here. If you guys have not already, please go ahead and like and subscribe. Leave a comment down below on what you thought of the Giants 2024 draft class. Did you love it? Did you hate it? What would you have done differently? And on that, we'll see you guys next time.